day, it began in a garden, where the weight of what was coming pressed so heavy on him that even his sweat felt like surrender. Father, if it is possible. There it was, a moment, a window to step back, a chance to walk away. Because he knew the nails were coming, he knew the cross was waiting. He knew the blood would shed, he knew, and still he stayed. Not my will, but yours be done. That was the moment the cross was chosen. Not forced, not accidental, chosen. He could have called angels, he could have walked away, he could have said enough, but love held him there before the nails ever did. So when they arrested him, he did not resist. When they accused him, he did not defend. When they struck him, he did not retaliate, because this was not a man being overpowered. This was a sinless Savior choosing surrender, perfect in every way, blameless without fault. No sin in his words, no sin in his thoughts, no sin in his life, and yet he was treated like the guilty one. Step by step, he walked toward crucifixion, carrying a cross he did not deserve, for people who did. Before the cross, there were stripes, whips tearing through his skin, pain that echoed through his body, a suffering deeper than words. And with every stripe, something was being written. Not just wounds, but healing. Because by his stripes we are healed. He took the pain so we could find peace. He carried the suffering so we could be restored. Every lash was not just punishment, it was purpose. And still, the one without sin carried the weight of it all. Not his own, ours. And by the time he reached that hill, it looked like defeat. A crown of thorns on his head, a body bruised and broken, a cross prepared for his end. But heaven knew this was not the end. Because on that cross, something holy was happening, an exchange, my shame for his grace, my brokenness for his wholeness, my past for a new beginning. The cross was never meant to be gentle. It was cruel. It was brutal. It was meant to end him. But what they did not know was that the cross would become the very place where broken lives begin again. And the bloodshed was not ordinary blood. It was not falling in silence. It was speaking mercy where judgment should have stood, speaking forgiveness where guilt had a voice. Every drop declared, "You are still worth saving." They whipped him, yet he stayed. They mocked him, yet he remained. They nailed him, yet he chose to stay. Not because he was trapped, but because he was committed. The crucifixion looked like defeat, but it was divine strategy. Because sometimes what looks like loss is the very place God secures victory. And there he was, lifted on the cross, arms stretched wide, not just by nails, but by love, as if heaven was saying, no one is too far, no one is too broken, no one is beyond reach. The cross was not just death, it was an invitation, because in that moment, the sinless one took on sin, every failure, every hidden place, every broken part, laid on him, not because he deserved it, but because he chose it. The cross was heavy, but not because of the wood, because of us, our failures, our pride, our distance, all carried by one who had no sin. And still, he did not come down. He stayed through the pain, he stayed through the bloodshed. He stayed when he could have stepped away. He stayed for you. Then he said, "It is finished." Not a cry of defeat, but a declaration. The price paid, the gap closed, the way made open. And in that moment, chains began to break, chains of sin that once held us captive, chains of guilt that whispered, "You'll never change," chains of shame that kept us hidden. Because when he died, sin lost its grip. What once controlled you no longer owns you. What once defined you no longer has authority. The cross did not just forgive, it freed. Free from cycles you thought would never end. Free from patterns you thought you'd always carry. Free from the weight of trying to fix yourself. Because the sinless one became the sacrifice, so we could walk in freedom. And when he rose, that freedom came alive. And for a moment, it looked like darkness had won, like hope had been buried, like the grave had the final word. But heaven was not done. 3 days later, the stone was rolled away, not to let him out, but to reveal that death could not hold him. The resurrection was not just a miracle. It was a declaration that death does not win, that sin does not own you, that the grave has no authority. Because the same blood that was shed now speaks life. The same cross that held him now releases us. The same Jesus who was crucified is now risen, alive, powerful, victorious. And now the cross is no longer shame. It is proof that love stayed, that grace stayed, that even when he could have walked away, he didn't. So when you see the cross, don't just see suffering. See the sacrifice of the sinless one. Don't just see the stripes, see your healing. Don't just see the bloodshed, see the love that refused to leave. Don't just remember the crucifixion, stand in the freedom and the power of the resurrection. Because it was the cross that changed everything.